Welcome to the Truckers Network radio show on tncradio.live, where we offer the news, weather, traffic, sports, information, and entertainment our commercial drivers want to hear. I'm your host, Shelley Johnson. Speaking of entertainment, pianist, composer, and songwriter Joe Rozum is charting internationally with his smooth jazz and cool blues. His song Grease Funk charted 18 weeks on the smooth jazz charts in 2020. He's produced and released 5 CDs, which have played across North America, the UK, Europe, and the Philippines. The Los Angeles-based artist performs to sold-out audiences at Herb Alpert's Vibrato Grill Jazz Club in Bel Air. His musical styles are as captivating as they are versatile. Joe's music influences have been boundless. He's admired performers like Elton John, Billy Joel, Yanni, Herbie Hancock, Quincy Jones, James Taylor, Elvis, and even the Beatles. He weaves many genres into a musical tapestry that is nothing short of compelling. Joe is as equally comfortable playing classical as he is playing funk or jazz. His music tells a story, which makes it not only memorable, but personal to each person who hears it. Joe's repertoire is a seamless fusion of smooth jazz, piano ballads, cool blues, along with violin duets, cello, or full orchestra. Joe takes listeners on a journey with compositions like this, called Brazilian Getaway. I have Joe Rozum with me today on the Truckers Network radio show. Welcome, Joe. I'm honored and so excited to talk to you. You know, you're a virtuoso, as both a performer and composer. I love your music. You're making waves internationally with your songs. You're known for smooth jazz as well as cool blues. But listening to your compositions, you've dabbled in all kinds of styles. How would you describe your music?
Oh wow. I I I mean, I'm a big smooth jazz person, a smooth jazz artist, as well as blues, which I love. I love classical. So I don't know, I just love dabbling in everything and anything that makes you feel good, moves you. And of course, a graduate from Berkeley back in Boston, it's just and going to music school, you have best of everything there. And I was a performance major on the piano, so I had two teachers, a classical teacher and a jazz teacher. So doing that was magnificent, and I loved the challenges that I had to accomplish as a musician. But at the same time, when you're writing and after you graduate, you go out and play. And yeah, the smooth jazz and the pop and the blues is what took over my thoughts and ideas for music. So that's where I am at right now. But when a project comes my way, whether it's a commercial or whether it's something in the classical genre or whatever it may be, for a song title, I'm a big ballad person. I love writing ballads. That's what I put myself, the element, into writing that composition. And and away I go.
Your music's so inspirational, and it also can just relax you, which is something that I think that our drivers definitely need. They have a lot of stress.
Sure, sure.
Do you have a favorite style, or do you like all kinds of styles?
Boy, the I mean, I love all styles. I love all styles, Shelley. I mean, it's just like I said, the smooth jazz. I love getting the groove and getting that feel there. And then as far as ballads, sure, I love writing ballads. I mean, like I said, when it's solo piano, or if
Mhm.
it's solo piano and violin, or if it's piano, violin, and cello, whatever it may be, whatever the thought and idea and the composition is going to bring to the studio and bring into the recording studio to record that. And then of course with singers, magnificent singers that I work with, it's whatever that composition is and whatever that project, that track is gonna be. Yeah, but with doing smooth jazz and getting that feel and getting the foot moving and tapping, yeah, I like I said, I love the smooth jazz. It's wonderful.
You really make the piano sing, and it tells a story with everything you play. I thought maybe we could talk a little bit about your background. Obviously, you attended a wonderful music school, but what inspired you to go into music? When did you first start?
Boy, I started when I was just a little cub. When I started when I was six, and I had one piano teacher, and I had one piano teacher for 11 years. And bless his heart, he's up in heaven right now. But Bobby Lillerose was my teacher from I'm from Reading, Pennsylvania, and I went to school, of course, in Boston at Berklee College of Music. And but Bobby, my teacher, he was a gem. He was wonderful, and he just taught me everything from learning and reading and popular music. And he was just an accomplished, beautiful, wonderful musician himself. And he did a lot of the cruises, the cruise lines. And but I just, like I said, when I started when I was six, and then when it came time for college, I ended up thinking, where do I want to go? What do I want to do? And I just thought, you know what? Is my I think music is my passion, which I was playing piano for all those years. Although my father was a dentist, and several people thought, well, Joe will probably follow his father's footsteps. But on the side, my father was a musician on the side, so he played church, and then he played in a jazz band on weekends,
Oh,
and the
neat.
clarinet and the saxophone. Yeah, and
Oh, yeah.
so it was wonderful. So I thought, you know what, I love that, but the opportunity to apply to one school, and several people said, Joe, maybe you should apply to a few other schools. I said, no, you know what? My heart is set. I think I really want to go to Boston. I really want to go to music school. And I remember I sent what I had to do for the requirements, and I got accepted. And I just remember calling my father at his office and saying, "Dad, guess what? I got accepted to music school." And it was wonderful because it was one thing that he loved the piano and the organ and playing the sax in his groups. But I think when I went to music school, it was just like God. He was thrilled. He was real thrilled. So I wasn't being a dentist. I wasn't a doctor, but I was able to touch the world and touch the people with my music and with my songs at the piano.
Well, certainly the Berklee College of Music, that is just a wonderful school, and that had to have given you such a wonderful foundation.
Absolutely, it was magnificent, and it's boy, yeah, it was wonderful being there in Boston and meeting all these wonderful musicians from all over the world. And now I'm involved in a wonderful get together that gets together in on Mondays. And a lot of people from Berkeley are involved in that wonderful breakfast, and it's great. It's just great reconnecting and seeing people and meeting people, and yeah, it's wonderful. It really is. And of course, when you play places and parties, you're playing with a lot of Berkeley graduates as well. So yeah, Berkeley, a lot of graduates, tons of graduates around here in Los Angeles. Just yeah, it's like I said, it's one of the best schools in the world.
Well, we could tell by your music that you really enjoy it. You have such a zest for life, and I think you infuse that into your music. And music, I think, can portray an emotion more than the spoken word, for sure. What inspires you when you're sitting down to compose and come up with a particular composition?
Well, Shelley, I'll probably come up with a thought or an idea in my head and just see where it goes. What direction are we going to go? Bluesy? Are we going to go funky? Are we going to go ballad? And then as I'm writing it, I'll often think, because I've got some great people that write lyrics, and I'll always think about, do I want to put lyrics to this song, or do I want to have the story told with the piano and the sax, or the piano and the guitar, acoustic guitar, or do I want to? Yeah, I mean, what direction do I want to go, and make the story come to life with the piano. So that's what I do. And if it's something that's going to be a sax and guitar related, fantastic. If it's going to be piano related, fantastic. If it's going to be a vocalist or a duet, yeah. So each and every song presents its wonderful thoughts and ideas, and that's pretty much where I go. That's then afterwards I'll look at the song, and then I'll take a little rest from maybe a day or two from it, and then come back to it after I think about what thoughts and what ideas I want to do before it gets recorded.
So, do you actually think in notes and tones when you're coming up with something, or how does the creative process work? I think a lot of people like to know that.
Oh yeah, I mean, any musician, when you're sitting there, you just play. I mean, seriously, honestly, you'll play. And what key are you going to be in? Do you want to change the key? Do you want to get that style? And like I said, whether is it going to be a ballad, is it going to be something that's going to be an up tempo song? And in the back of my mind, I'll always think, okay, I've got great musicians that I work with and fantastic musicians that I perform with, and they're just magnificent, stellar musicians. So it's just in longtime friends as well. So basically, whether it's a new song or whether it's another show that I'm doing, it's wonderful. It's just you just bring the song to life with your instrument. And like I said, whether it's a ballad, which like I said, I know I love writing ballad pieces at the piano. Those are wonderful. I just love, and it just goes wherever the fingers tell the story. And that's where it goes.
Your versatility, I think, is what I'm really impressed with. And the fact that you said that you studied both classical as well as jazz, that's such a dichotomy in terms of
Yeah,
styles.
yeah. Oh, it was fun. It's fun. And like I said, even playing, whether you're playing in church and you're looking at what Bach and Beethoven and Mozart and Chopin, their styles. And then on the other flip side, you look at the jazz side, and you look at the blues side, and you look at the wonderful artists that are out there, and even the rock side. I mean, you look at the Billy Joel and the Elton John music. I mean, it's just everybody has their storytelling in their music styles. So and you always incorporate maybe a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and bingo, that's where the song comes, and that's it comes from its infancy stage, and once it starts from that stage, then boom, we're off to the races, and we want to make this song and give this song birth, so it's out there, and yeah, it's wonderful, it really is.
Did you have some music idols that really influenced you growing up?
Oh, I think as a piano player, I loved all the styles from Gershwin and Cole Porter, and then
Oh,
of
yeah.
course which were fantastic pieces.
Rhapsody
And
in Blue. Oh, my.
absolutely, absolutely. And then of course you go to the Piano Man with Billy Joel, and then
Yeah.
of course everything that Elton John does. And I've seen those two incredible artists so many times out here in Los Angeles, and uh, oh yeah, I just like I said, as a piano player, you just enjoy seeing your favorite artists, and then on the other side, I'll see other great singers and songwriters and out there that are performing and playing, and oh yeah, so I kind of go all over the map. Let's put it that way.
Well, people really love you. You performed to sold out audiences at Herb Albert's Vibrato Grill Jazz Club in Bel Air. Are you out there
Yeah,
on a pretty regular basis?
I'm up there twice. I perform up there twice a year, and it's beautiful. I've been up there
Okay.
since 2016, and 2016, 17. And it's fun because I do a summer cool show and I do a Christmas cool show. And it's wonderful. So in the summer show is just fantastic. It's great. And for new people that come in to hear hear my show and see my show, they tell a friend and they bring a friend and they tell a friend. So it's wonderful. And then during the Christmas time, I will take out probably about 8 or 9 of my songs, and then I insert all these funky bluesy arrangements of Silver Bells and Jingle Bells and Santa Claus is Coming to Town, and all those kind of nice feels, and the nice jazz bluesy grooves, and so the Christmas show is always fantastic, and yeah, and like I said, up there at Vibrato, which is run by Eden and Eden Albert, and oh, it's a beautiful club. It's just fantastic, and the artists that perform up there are magnificent, and all the shows up there are magnificent. So yeah, it's just a lot of fun. So and the way the club is arranged, the stage is right right there, that all of the tables and the booths, they're right next to you, so you have this intimate one-on-one, with all of the patrons that are there, and it's just great. It's a real good vibe, and a wonderful feeling to play at that wonderful club.
Well, you're certainly highly sought after. You've been featured in Scene Around for February of 23 in music in Los Angeles, right up there with Lionel Richie and Harry Connick Jr. This is terrific.
Yeah, that was a surprise. That was a surprise, just to see that wonderful news article, and yeah, it was from a magazine, and the magazine is called Westlake Malibu magazine, and it's the February-March issue, and it was a surprise to see that pop in there, and which I had no idea, and but yeah, it was nice. It was just really nice, and I've gotten a lot of great compliments on that issue, and with the picture, and of course it states that I was up there at Vibrato for my Christmas show back in December of 2022. So
Mhm.
yeah, it was nice. It was just a nice little surprise. How about that?
Well, I would say it's very well deserved. Where can people hear you in Los Angeles?
What, Shelley, I do a number of private parties, of course, and I play up there at Vibrato. Vibrato, I love that club. That club. I mean, for people that live in Los Angeles and have been up there, they know exactly what I would be talking about.
Mhm.
But right now, I mean, I do the 2 times a year up there, which is fantastic. Right up there at the in the Bel Air, Beverly Hills area, and then little by little, getting my foot into a few of these wonderful yearly summer and winter jazz festivals. So I've been, pretty much on the phone there, trying to get my foot into a few of those extra little added shows, which would be fantastic. So it's just a matter of people sending out and seeing who you are and what you play and where you play and what type of music do you have, and then as well as the music that I have on the charts. The past 3 years, I've been very fortunate and very blessed to have the smooth jazz charts, the smooth jazz world
Oh,
being
yeah.
nice to me, and me being on the charts with various songs back in when I debuted with my very first song of Grease Funk,
Oh,
which
it's
was
a
back
great song, Grease
in
Funk.
20. Oh,
Yeah.
thank you. So that was in 2020, and then 2021 I followed it with Summer Cool, and then 2022 last year I followed up with a song called Overdrive. And so being on the charts, people always like look at that, and no, it's wonderful, and it's nice to be popping up onto the smooth jazz charts. So yeah, that's a real check mark that I really looked forward to doing and I wanted to accomplish, and it's been wonderful.
Well, I certainly love the vibe of Grease Funk. I know our listeners will too. Let's listen to Grease Funk by Joe Rozum. The Truckers Network helps professional drivers save money and makes their lives easier. We were created for drivers by a commercial driver. We know the industry and driver needs. A Truckers Network membership offers exclusive discounts through our trusted partners on things like truck care, truck parking, tires, oil changes, fuel additives, fitness, roadside assistance, first aid kits, driver training, and a whole lot more. Start saving today. Check us out at app.thetruckersnetwork.net. That's app.thetruckersnetwork.net. The trucking industry keeps America running thanks to the 3.36 million professional truck drivers who deliver everyday goods to 80% of American communities who rely on trucking for that last mile. The industry represents a diverse group with nearly half of drivers at 42% as minorities. Trucking Moves America Forward, or TNAF, educates the public on the essentiality of trucking by telling the story of trucking and its positive impact on our economy, communities, and lives. Learn how you can join the industry movement by visiting truckingmovesamerica.com. Welcome back to the Truckers Network radio show here on TNCRadio.live. I'm Shelley Johnson, and I am talking with virtuoso pianist, composer, songwriter Joe Rozum. He's just amazing. We just listened to one of his big hits. Joe, I can see why Grease Funk got you some international attention. It's great. Tell us a little bit about that song. What inspired that? It's a great tune.
Oh, thanks, Shelley. Boy, what inspired? You know what? It was just, once again, sitting at the piano, I just had a groove in my mind, and it wasn't anything that I saw here or there or whatever. It was just something that I started playing, and then I could hear in my mind, okay, I want to have the bass here, and I want to put the guitar here, and I want to put the sax here, and little by little, after I wrote the song, then I thought, yeah, this is going to be a fun song to record, a really fun song to record, and by golly, it was. It was fantastic to record, and it got me onto the smooth jazz charts, and I was so pleasantly surprised with all the people around the world that it was played on 140 plus smooth jazz stations, and throughout the United States and all over. And it was nice to get nice emails from various people, such as a lot of the DJs that I met, and they were just writing to me, hey, we love it, can't wait to see what your next song will be. And so it was nice. It was really, really, really nice just to get that out there and to see what legs it was going to get in. It really did get a lot of legs, definitely, that's for sure.
Well, I like to hear funk being played again. I think it really kind of reached sort of a peak, in the 70s?
Oh,
that was more mainstream at that time.
Yeah, I mean, 60s, 70s. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it was just every decade always had its groove of various artists, of course. But but I mean, like I said, it's never too old and never too late. Let's put it that way for any of the music. I mean, there's shows that I go to that you'll hear smoking songs from the 60s and the 70s. And then sometimes I'll go to a show which is just a huge Beatles revival, and it's just fantastic. It's just great. It's just, like I said, it's, music has its universal language, and you go out there and you know what you're going to. If you're going to an Elton show, you're going to hear Elton songs. If you're going to a Billy show, you're going, so, but all the music is nonstop, and it's going to be here forever and ever and ever. When we're caught upstairs and we're upstairs in the clouds looking down, our music will still be playing down here for the generation and the generation there to follow afterwards.
That's right. It's ageless, and it gives people the ability to hear what the people were in the past.
Exactly.
It's a record.
And exactly.
Nothing captures the nuance of humanity more effectively than music, and the music that they listened to, the music they enjoyed.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. No, it's endless. And like I said, where we are now in 2023. Okay, so fast forward to 10, 20 years, I mean, there's just so much going on, and so many new artists, and then sadly, some of the greatest artists that composed all of these wonderful, wonderful songs, they're passing, and they're getting called up into heaven, but yet their music again is going to going to be with us forever. And so it's just a switch of a change of the guard, if you will, of the music, but the styles will always be there, and it's just going to continue and continue. That's where it'll go.
It's a legacy, and you're
Yeah.
certainly leaving a wonderful legacy too.
Oh,
Now,
thanks.
the song Overdrive is a marvelous song as well. What inspired that?
Overdrive. You know what? I guess when I'm a big beach person, and sometimes when going down to the beach, of course, people like to, go a wee bit over the speed limit. I guess you know what I'm saying there. They kind of like to take off, and there was one time I was just driving down there, and some of the cars, some of those fancy cars that were just going up and down the beach road were, they're going at a good space, and a good pace. And I'm thinking, you know what, this might be kind of fun to write a song about. So that's kind of what my thought and idea was on writing that song on Overdrive. And I came home and started writing it, and I thought this would be kind of fun. Let's put some, a little bit of punch here, and that's kind of where that song came to be.
Well, certainly something our driver listeners can relate to.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go.
They deal
Absolutely.
with RPMs all the time.
Oh, I'm sure they do. I'm
Yeah.
sure they do. Absolutely.
I know listeners are going to really like your song. Let's listen to Overdrive by Joe Rozum. what a great driving song. Overdrive. I love it. And then you have the song Summer Cool. That's been a big hit.
Summer Cool was, which I knew was going to be on in the summer, in which I was aiming for the charts for the summer of 2021. I just wanted to do something that would be appropriate for the summer season, and I thought, you know what, this might be kind of neat, and just started putting a little funky, bass in there, and then put some of the piano in there, and the sax, and it was great. And then even the music video itself, I ended up putting really cool pictures and summer pictures in there and beach pictures, and yeah, it came out really, really, really nice. And that's been another big hit at the shows as well that I do. So and that was on the charts. Overdrive and Grease Funk were on the charts for 18 weeks, I think, on the smooth jazz charts, which
That's
was,
phenomenal. Oh
yeah, it
my
was
goodness. With all
pretty
the
great.
competition out there and social
Ah,
media, that is
ah,
phenomenal.
yeah. So it was on the charts, and it moved up and down, and it gets up to a point and then it comes down. But when it came down slightly, and it came down slightly. But yeah, those two songs they did really well.
And I like the name. I think that thinking back when I was a kid and in high school, especially, the songs that came out in the summer are the most memorable because you're doing more stuff with your friends. And maybe that's when you have somebody you're dating. Summertime, I think everybody can relate to.
True,
So,
true. Yeah,
uh,
and then you got the beach, you got your vacation,
sure.
and you're hanging out at beach parties and pool parties, and oh, absolutely. And like I said, your vacation. Are you staying in the States? Are you going on the other side of the world? Where are you going? And there'll be various songs. Of course, if you go to the other side of the world, you're going to be listening to that style of music. And so absolutely. So Summer Cool was just a real, neat. I'm thinking I got to come up with a really neat title. It's going to come out. And so I said, Summer Cool, and
Hmm.
that was it. Didn't really take too long to come up with that title, but I wanted to have some fun with it. So
Sure.
and that's where I came up with it.
Well, it's something that we need now. And I think it makes people feel better. One thing about music, I think it gives us the ability to do some time travel. You hear a melody that you heard when you were in high school, and you're back in a particular scenario or scene. You're remembering it. It really transports us. Music just, for some reason, it just really clicks in the mind, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And it'll click where you were at that special time, like you said, whether you were dating somebody or whether you were at a baseball or a game, or whether you were at whether it be the Olympics, the, Summer Olympics, or whatever it may have been. It's just, whenever a song hits you, you always remember, and especially if it's a song that really, means a lot to you. It's just something special that you always have. Is it something that you were dating, and then somebody that, really stuck in your mind, and then all of a sudden you end up using that song for the wedding as well. So
Sure.
and
Yeah.
I've done that for many weddings as well. People would want a special song for a wedding, and this is the song that we met when we fell in love back 4 years, 3 years ago. We'd like for you to play it, and absolutely. So it's nice when a song has that special meaning. And even in a movie, if there's a movie theme that you see in a movie that really touches you, and it could be a challenging time in your life, or you're with other people at a big get together, or whatever it may be. But yeah, music is that universal language. Once again, it heals the soul. And that's, yeah, I mean, we all need music in our lives. That's
We
that's
do.
that's definite one there for sure.
Well, when you think about it, you were talking about movies. I think that the music themes outlive the movies a lot of
Absolutely.
times.
Yeah, because you hear the themes, and you see the you see the movie, and the moment you see what movie it is, then you think of that song. And of course, the one song that has always stuck with me was the Pink Panther. I mean, come on, everybody
Oh
knows the
gosh,
Pink
yes,
Panther.
Henry Mancini.
Yeah, absolutely. And that song is just a classic. And when that song starts, ba 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 ba,
Uh-huh.
everybody know. I mean, just those notes, just the beginning notes. Everybody knows that song, and they may not have seen all the movies, but they of course know the cartoon character. And
Uh-huh.
oh yeah, so that's just a classic. Once again, that will always be with everybody. And of course, at music school and during film classes, you always would analyze and take apart some of the songs and see, and what made this song inspiring into the movie, and how they made it work. And it's fantastic. It really, really is.
Speaking of inspiring, you have a new song out with a video. It's called For the Love of Ukraine. It's a
Correct.
thoughtful melody. It really captures the essence, I think, of the people in that region. It's just marvelous. Why don't you tell everybody about that?
Boy, Shelley, it's been over a year now, and as of last month, and when the whole world was watching what was going on out there in with Russia and Ukraine, and I was. It's just I've never been to Ukraine. I've never been there, but you always watch a lot of I always watch a lot of shows that travel shows, and you just enjoy, where they take you to the foreign countries. And Ukraine is such a beautiful, beautiful country. And anyhow, when you saw the tanks and you saw Russia jumping into that country, and then when the war started, I thought, you got to be kidding me. I just like everybody, their mouths were dropped, and they saw the destruction, and they saw what was going on out there. And so after a few weeks, I said, I've got to write a song. I've got to write a song, and I've just got to pray for the people, for the soldiers, pray for the animals. I mean, I'm a big animal person, and oh, it was just those people are living, and they have to leave with the clothes on their back. And so anyhow, I wrote this song for the love of Ukraine, and I brought in a magnificent violinist and a magnificent cellist, and we went into the studio to record it. And then I called a friend of mine up at his music store, and I asked him. I said, "Is there a chance that we can do a filming in it?" He said, "Sure, come on in, Joe." So we went in there, and it's like I said, it's on YouTube right now, for the love
Mhm.
of Ukraine. And but it's got a lot of interest. It's gotten some great, great interest. And my fingers are crossed. I've performed it a few times at some shows already, and I'd love to take it to another level up above. That would be seen throughout the world, seen throughout the country on
Mhm.
some really big, big shows. So yeah, so that's my fingers crossed. And then another thing is, I would love to just get the whole song, because right now it's piano, violin, and cello. I'd love to have that orchestrated with
Oh,
a
yes.
beautiful orchestra in the background. Oh,
That'd be dynamic.
oh, it would be fantastic. Yeah. So
Hmm.
the video's fantastic. The song came out fantastic. It's just it's just a matter of taking it to that next level, and getting it out there. And so hopefully everybody that sees it, and they tell a friend, and they tell a friend, and hopefully someone might be interested in having it being performed on the big stage somewhere, out here in Los Angeles or New York or wherever it may be.
I could see that. I could see it in an amphitheater
Oh
with
yeah, yeah.
with
Thank you.
video behind you, and
Hmm.
oh my,
Yeah, yeah.
very
It's
dynamic.
oh, thank you.
It's nothing short of compelling. Let's listen. So where do people find you, Joe?
They can find me on my website. It's, www.joe, Joeroz as in zebra, um as in Mary.com. And I'm on Facebook as well. And they can kind of see my latest projects and what I'm doing, where I'm performing. My next show up at Vibrato, the beautiful jazz club up there that's run by Eden Albert and Herb Albert. It's just that'll be in the summer. So when that date does come by, when they do the booking for the summer, yeah, I will have that posted on my Facebook as well.
Well, you are just what our listeners need.
Oh,
Your,
thanks.
your music, I think it has a soothing effect. It's inspirational. Our drivers can get motivated and maybe even dance while they're driving.
Oh yeah.
Your
Oh
music
yeah.
creates all of that. It's terrific.
Absolutely. No, a big, huge hello to all of your fans, and stay safe, and be safe out there on the roads, of course.
That's right. They appreciate that for sure. And your music is just what the doctor ordered.
Ah, thanks, Shelley. Thank you so much.
I
I
love it.
appreciate that. Yeah, I thank you so very much.
Thank you, Joe. Before we close out the Truckers Network radio show, I want to feature one more of your songs. We were just talking about it earlier. It's called Summer Cool. Let's listen. Thank you for listening to another great interview on TNCRadio.live and the Truckers Network radio show. All of the material you hear on TNCRadio.live, on our website, our broadcasts, or our podcasts are copyrighted. There can be no distribution without the express consent of TNCRadio.live and its partners. For inquiries, write us at info@tncradio.live. And don't forget to subscribe to the podcast of the Truckers Network Radio Show.